What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Jace. Today I'm going to show you how to make a self-watering wall mount for a fern or any kind of epiphytic plant. So an epiphytic plant is just a plant that grows on something else. Usually like a tree would be their natural habitat. Basically take in nutrients from the tree or whatever it's growing on, and yeah, so they do really good on wall hanging situations. So I've got this Dutch staghorn fern that the old lady bought for me. I've been talking about wanting one of these for a while, so she brought me home one. What we've got today that we're gonna attempt to do is I've got this big piece of driftwood, and I actually found this at a river nearby. We went on a walk one day. I saw this thing and I said, I like that. I can take it home. At the time, I had no idea what I wanted it for, but I knew I was going to use it for something. So let's get started. This is actually my first time doing it, so hopefully it turns out all right. So in order to do this, there's a couple things you need. An epiphytic plant. Some type of fern like this is going to be, I think, the coolest thing to do it. But there's many other things you can do it with. You need a tree. It doesn't have to be like this. You can use a piece of cedar wood. I've seen people just use like little wooden planks. There's a lot of different things you can use, but this is what I'm using today because I think it will look awesome hanging on the wall. You're gonna need some sphagnum moss. I use Bezgro sphagnum moss. I got this on Amazon. It's pretty cheap. It's like 10 to 12 bucks a bag. I'll link it below. I actually already have a bowl. Bowl of sphagnum moss right here. I've been letting it soak in water just so that it gets fully saturated. You're gonna need a drill or a screwdriver, a couple screws, and you're gonna need some fishing line. So I'm also gonna turn mine into a self-watering setup. So I'm actually gonna mount this little plastic cup right here at the bottom, kind of like that. That way I can keep it filled up with water, and I'll use cotton wick to create a self-watering setup for it, just to keep the moss consistently moist. Moss dries out very quickly in my house. I've got a couple of moss poles that I can never keep wet enough, and drives me crazy. So we're gonna do this one self-watering, which also means you're gonna need some of this cotton wick. I've got this 100 foot of it. I got it on Amazon. I'm pretty sure like $6. So I will also link this below so you can get that as well. So the first thing we need to do is take your plant and get it out of the soil or whatever it's in. And we're just gonna break all the soil up. We don't need any of it. All right, so there we've got it. I've got most of the soil off of it. With this, you don't really have to worry about washing it. If you're switching over to semi-hydro, then you definitely wanna make sure there's no soil on roots, but this isn't gonna be semi-hydro, it's just gonna be a wall mount. So we're gonna leave what's on there, just so it has a little bit of nutrients in the mix too. Next thing we're gonna do, grab our piece of bark. I want the plant sitting right about here in the middle. That way you can see the bark out the bottom and the big sticks of bark out the top. So we're just gonna lay that flat on our table. Take our bowl of sphagnum moss right here, get us a good handful of it. We're gonna wring most of that water out to where it's still damp, but not like completely dry or dripping wet either. So this is the part that might be just a little bit difficult. We're gonna take that moss and just kind of pat it down on there. Make ourselves a nice little bed. Just gonna lay the cotton wick across that first layer of sphagnum moss like that. That way I've got an end on both sides hanging down that will drop into our little self-watering container that's gonna sit right there. We're gonna take our plant, position it how we want it, take some more sphagnum moss, and we're just going to kind of wrap it, press it all together. And I just want to make sure that I've got moss around the whole entire plant, kind of covering up the little bit of soil that we left. And all I'm doing is squeezing it out and then kind of pressing it up around the whole base of the plant. I think we've just about got it how we want it. Got it good and situated. This is how it looks right now. Pretty good. I'm not gonna pick it up because I don't have it tied on yet, but I like the way it's looking. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is take your fishing line, and I leave it connected just because I'm gonna use a lot. All right, so right here, I just tied a knot, and I have this wrapped all the way around this whole branch right here. All right, so from here, guys, all I'm gonna do is start taking this fishing line that I have, and I'm just gonna wrap it all around the moss right here. So once you've got it to where it holds itself and doesn't fall off of your tree, then we'll go ahead and cut our fishing line, find a good spot to tie it to. There we have it. It's got moss all the way around. It's completely tied on. I've got fishing line all the way around this thing, but as this thing grows, the roots will actually start to kind of grow into the bark, and the moss will kind of attach itself to. Later on down the road, you can actually just cut that fishing line off, take it all off, and it'll look more natural. But yeah, so we've got it mounted. It looks good. I'm happy with that. So the only other thing that we're gonna do is take this bowl, and we are going to mount it right there. We're just gonna screw that bowl right into that wood, fill it up with water, and yeah, we'll have our self-watering setup, and then we can mount it on the wall. It's not working. You definitely don't have to do the self-watering thing with the wick and the cup at the bottom. I am just doing that because I'm awful at watering moss. So I've got a soldering iron. I'm gonna use this instead. I'm just gonna put 2 little holes, and that is how we'll screw it in. One like that, 2 little holes. There we've got it. Got my little bowl hanging. That is how you make a wall mount fern, self-watering. Yeah, I think it turned out all right. If you've watched this far, thank you. Thank you very much. I think it looks pretty good. I'm happy with it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.